Hey guys, Trent and Allen here.
And Grayson Lewis.
Big News News, and we're here for a double review. We just came back from, actually a couple hours ago, we came back from the movie Avatar: The Way of Water. This one just came out, so before anyone asks, we're going to be doing, this is a non-spoiler review. Please go check out this movie, because we think
it's pretty good. Yeah, it's, in my opinion, it's definitely better than the first one.
So, before we get into it, I would like to also say that before we watched Avatar, we also watched the 1983 80s film Willow as preparation of the Willow TV series on Disney Plus, because we saw the images for the show, because I didn't think they would do a sequel for it. I was very excited, and he has not seen the original movie, so it was very fun to see him react to that, to experience the 80s glory that is. So we'll go over Willow real quick, just like brief thing.
Yeah, brief.
And we'll give you a brief non-spoiler review for Avatar: The Way of Water. And yeah, Trevor is not joining us today because he did see Avatar with us, but he decided to go to bed.
Yeah.
So let's get started on Willow. It's very quick. If you know Willow, it's a very charming fantasy story. About, I don't know if it's offensive to say dwarf, but
No, it's I wouldn't think so, but it's...
But the main character, Willow, is a dwarf who's wanting to be a magician, and there's a baby girl that's part of a prophecy to bring about the end of evil. You know, typical fantasy prophecy stuff, and it was a very charming, nostalgic ride for me, because I haven't seen the movie in like 10 years. Yeah. What did you think of it again?
No, I thought it was pretty good. I did see the 80s issues, like with how very cliche it was, but it wasn't a bad thing, and I gave it a little bit of a pass because it was an 80s film, and that's how it was stylized. I thought it was pretty enjoyable, and I liked basically all the characters. There were some parts about it that were like some pacing issues or
a lot of decision making. That was a little
because I'm a person that I think very logically about scenarios I get involved in, and when I see characters get involved in scenarios that are very easy to get out of and they don't, and I'm just like,
so lack of common sense.
Yeah, most horror movies.
But Willow is a very charming film. If you have not seen it, please give it a watch, because that movie is very enjoyable.
Yeah, it is. It was definitely an enjoyable watch. I wasn't bored throughout any of it, just some pacing issues.
And Val Kilmer is an instant win.
Yeah, Val Kilmer's Val Kilmer.
This was in preparation for the sequel show on Disney Plus, which we do plan on watching and reviewing. So stay tuned for that one. And we are trying to get Wednesday. I think we finally have some time to get to watching it. But once we finish it,
we'll review that. And as you can see, Berserk's up there. We're getting to Berserk as well.
So, yeah, it's a big series. So,
I mean, it covers just that whole top shelf, and that's not even all of Berserk.
Yeah. So, what would you rate Willow?
I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Honestly. There are issues, but it's not enough to make me hate the film.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Please, guys, give it a watch. It's on Disney Plus now. So, to the main, not the main one, but the biggest one is the sequel to the 2009? Yeah, 2009?
2009, yeah.
2009 phenomenon Avatar by James Cameron. And phenomenon is, I would say, is kind of a strong word, because the story in the first one is basically Pocahontas. It's not very too original, despite the sci-fi angle.
Which the first one was enjoyable, but the main selling point for the first one was its visual effects, and
they were really good for 2009 standards.
Yes, they were. They're like, that movie visually still surpasses most movies released nowadays.
And this movie does justice.
Oh yeah, it does. Visually, this is easily one of the best movies I have ever seen. The only one I put above it visually, not like CGI wise, but visually stunning is the Batman. But this one in terms, so cinematography for the Batman, but this one visually for its effects is one of the best I've ever seen.
The cinematography in this film is very well done.
Yes.
There's some beautiful shots and beautiful effects I did not know this until I looked up. They did underwater mocap.
Yep, and I don't remember which. I'm gonna actually look it up right now. But one of the actresses broke the world record for holding her breath underwater
because of this movie.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, characters that you'll know are back in the movie. Obviously, Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington. Zoe Saldana's Neytiri. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Don't hurt me. It talks about, it has their story as they have their family, as most sequels do with these lovers style. And
Kate Winslet. Breaks Tom Cruise's breath holding record.
I forget which one.
She's it looks like the wife. Maybe.
We'll find out in a second, I guess.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. 7 minutes underwater.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
They actually had to learn freediving for this movie.
Yeah. Every one of the actors and actresses that went underwater for it.
So yeah, we're gonna stay away as many spoilers as we can. We'll bring up probably not plot point, but something that happens.
We'll bring up the plot in itself because we have to review the plot and what it's about.
The main question we asked ourselves when we went into this: is it going to be a better story than the first one? And we think it is.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It makes me actually care about the characters. In the first one, the only character I ever really cared about was Jake, but beyond that, I didn't really care about anyone. And that's not to say anything bad. It's just there wasn't enough development or time with the characters to fully care about them. And this one really brings it home that basically all of the characters we see that are in the movie for a substantial amount of time, I end up caring about, at least to some extent, whether it's a villain or one of the children,
or the main characters themselves.
Yeah, I actually end up caring about them.
They hit you in the feels in this film.
It does.
The mocap is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Not the underwater mocap. The normal mocap are just fantastic. Mm-hmm. And believe it was the Saturn Awards that Sam Worthington was nominated for, but he lost to Zoe Saldana. The acting in this movie is very good.
Oh yeah, it's by far well, I won't say by far because the first one's acting was pretty good, but this one is superior acting wise, especially whenever they're talking to each other,
they feel like two parents and two a married couple actually talking to each other.
Yeah, and whenever Jake talks to his kids, it feels like a parent talking to his children.
Not just any parent, a military parent.
Yes,
because Jake Sully, the character is a Marine, and you can tell he has that military style parenting. Mm-hmm. Not saying that every military parent is the same, but that's the idea that they went with his experiences. The soundtrack is beautiful. Most of the soundtrack is very well done. I love the music in it. Zoe Saldana's singing was beautiful.
It was.
Like I said, cinematography is fantastic.
The villain this time was, I think, really well done. It
better than the first one. He was better executed.
Yeah, he felt like an actual threat, and he felt more well-rounded. There was nothing to be said for sympathy towards him, really, or anything like that, but he felt like he was a good villain for this movie, and he was executed
especially his conflict with Jake and his family.
Oh, that we won't get into it, but there's some scenes between the two that are amazing.
They're really well done. the action scenes they're not the best action scenes from like what we've seen, for example, like the Northman, Batman. I think those are better action sequences.
Or at least better shot action sequences, I'd say.
Yeah, but this one is still really good, especially with the water combat, because from the trailers we see that the action scenes are very good. It just reminds me back when the first movie and stuff.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, but like, just Zoe Saldana's character, Nick Terry, she is a crack shot with that bow.
She's amazing. There is not one shot she shoots that she does not miss. Boys could take some lessons from her.
Like, damn. And Jake, Sam Worthington, is awesome in this film.
He's
I was very happy because Sam Worthington is a personal favorite of mine when it came to an actor like him. He's one of my personal favorites. One of my favorite roles was Alex Mason from Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops, I should say. And it was just nice seeing him again.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been in a lot of movies that I have seen, at least, in recent years.
Yeah.
And Zoe Saldana, Gamora.
Yeah, she was great. She was great. One of my favorite characters was one of was the adoptive daughter. She was really well done to me. I'm not going to get into spoilers about her because there's some things about her character, but they executed a lot of stuff really well, especially with what she can do inside of the movie, and I thought it was pretty well done.
Basically, all the characters were done well, characterization wise, acting wise, how they fit in the story wise. It was very well done.
There was one character that I very much disliked, but it was because he was meant to be disliked, and it's the whale.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
But he was the only one I didn't like, but that was because he was meant to be not liked.
Well, serves the purpose.
Yeah.
So, what was going to say without spoiling? Production value. James Cameron wants his sequels. He said that if this movie doesn't break $1 billion,
break $2 billion.
$2 billion?
Yes.
Oh,
the fourth highest grossing movie of all time.
He basically said if this doesn't make $2 billion,
he won't break even. He won't even break even.
Because of how much money did he spend on this film?
Well, it's not just this film; it's all of them because he's filmed most of all of them in a row.
So he did all the sequels back to back?
For the most part. I think the last one isn't done yet, but I think the third one is like 40 or 50% done already. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because he wanted to get these out because this one, the second one, was supposed to come out in 2014. I don't remember why it was pushed back. I think that's because the merger with Disney,
Fox,
and stuff like that. Disney didn't take Fox at that time. I think that was 2016-17.
Regardless, James Cameron wants his sequels, and one thing that a sequel we're wanting is
Alita, because
Alita Battle Angel,
because it's also up there. I have the manga of Alita, and I love the series, and the movie was pretty well done. It's not the most accurate to the manga.
It did it justice, in my opinion.
It did it very well justice.
And if you're gonna make 4 sequels of Avatar,
you can make. And the thing is, he has talked with Robert Rodriguez, who was the director of Alita, on a recent interview with both of them, that they are really pushing for the sequel for Alita because they've wanted it. Rosa Salazar, who did Alita, they all want the sequel. It's just, we're not going to get into the politics of it, but Disney doesn't really want that sequel, at least for right now, because the first movie it wasn't a humongous box office success. It still did pretty well.
Sadly compared to, Black Adam, which was a box office flop, sadly. But if you want to see a review of Black Adam, we have one on our channel, so go check it out. But the production value in this movie is very well done. It it looks phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal. It acts phenomenal. The story is the main thing where I would take points off.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert on this. It is a 3-hour and 15-minute movie. This is a long movie.
And you feel the runtime throughout this movie. The first half, the movie had started. The first half went through,
it went pretty well.
I had checked my phone, real quick, checked the time, and an hour and a half had gone by pretty fast. And I was like, "Hey, cool!" I didn't really feel the runtime there.
Then
Towards the middle, middle and onward section, it started to drag. Not bad, but you could start feeling the runtime, and then the final act kicked in, and that's where it kind of picked back up.
It got slow, and then it picked up.
Yeah.
The second half, you will kind of feel. The first half, it's actually very well paced. And
yeah, but one of my biggest issues is that pacing. The pacing of this movie, it's not horrible. It's not even bad. It's just you can feel
when it starts to tank. You'll
feel it.
You will feel it tank. Because there's like whole sequences where it's like, I feel like this could have been a different like movie or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't. When I say this is a long movie, I don't mean like as a bad thing. Because some of my favorite movies are long movies.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they're long ass movies, and I love them to death. But I know people don't have that kind of attention span with this, and when I say you will feel the runtime, you'll probably feel it.
Because it's the opposite of the Batman. The Batman, we did not feel the runtime. We went through that movie, and
to be fair, it's not even 3 hours.
It's close enough to 3 hours to be considered a 3-hour movie. But when watching that one, I was so enthralled, and I was enthralled in Avatar.
Don't mistake that we weren't enthralled, because we did enjoy the story
and the visual. I will say that the visuals are what really can keep you into the movie. The story is still good, but the visuals really keep you engaged. While in the Batman, the big selling point was the story of him being a detective, and that's what kept you enthralled, and the mystery and stuff. This one is the visuals with some story elements. The two main things that keep you enthralled, in my opinion, are the characters and the visuals. I think those are the two things that really keep you enthralled in Avatar 2. But the story itself isn't bad.
It gets jumbled at one point, and then it kind of picks up again.
Yeah.
It gets tangled, and then it unravels. It's one of those where you're like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Then it kind of just moves. Oh, no. Anyway.
Yeah. And I would overall say this movie's pretty well done. I'd say the ending is pretty well executed, besides one thing I have a problem with, which obviously, because it's a non-spoiler review, we aren't going to get into. But there was one thing in it that I was jumbled with, but beyond that, I think the ending's really well executed. One of the twists is kind of coming, but still well executed, but you can kind of see it coming if you look at the movie, like actually watch it.
This, and as well as the first one, has a lot of cliches.
Oh yeah.
As I just said, the first one's basically sci-fi Pocahontas, with cliches, typical stuff going on. This one has a bit of cliches. Like, you can see someone probably coming a mile away compared, but they try to make it at least entertaining. So when it does happen, you're like, I'm not like you're not rolling. Coming. You're like, you see it coming, but you're not rolling your eyes.
You mean like Uncharted? Whenever we saw something coming in that movie, we're just like, oh, there it is.
This one, like, you'll see it coming here, and it happens. You're like,
cool. I saw it coming, but cool. It's how they execute it. It's really what it comes down to. Because most movies nowadays have so many cliches. It's just how they execute those cliches. So,
what I would say for this movie is give it a watch. Give James Cameron the support. I think this is a good movie, and I think that he deserves the credit where credit's due. He's put a lot of work into this.
He has,
and it's kind of a disrespectful not seeing the effort put into this.
Yeah, especially
and I would like to give if James Cameron, if you watch this video,
which I doubt it.
I doubt it. But we love you, man. You had a plan, you went with it,
and you stuck with it, and you've honestly done pretty well with this one. And I am so one of my things is I had watched the first one and I didn't fully care for it. I thought visually it was stunning, but beyond that, I didn't really care for it too much. And so when talking about this one coming out, about a month ago or so. I was like, I might watch it.
A lot of people said that this was a movie coming out at the wrong time because
it's kind of too late.
It's like 2009 was like the pinnacle of the visual stuff, and Avatar really pushed the boundaries of that. That's why it's so well loved because they did that.
And why it's the highest grossing movie of all time.
And but this one, if this came out in like 2014, holy crap, it would definitely have blown people more away. But I think, despite the fact that we've had so many CGI films in recent years before its release, and it still looks better than a lot.
Oh yeah, then it looks so much better than a lot of. I mean, this 2001 still looks better than a lot of films nowadays, but this one still keeps to that. And I think that if this wasn't a visually stunning film in the CGI department, then it would have failed horribly. It's almost like it had to be, and the next ones also have to be.
That's why James Cameron's really pushing, like, he's not going to do the sequels if this doesn't break even.
Yeah, if it doesn't break even, the sequels will not come out. Because the sequels are slated for, I think, 2025, 2028, somewhere around that area. I think that's when the sequels are slated for when he wants to release them.
And it's just, like, if this doesn't break even, he's not going to get the sequels that he wants to do. So, I'd say check out this movie. What would we rate it?
I honestly give this movie an 8 out of 10. It surpasses the first one, and not just in story, but also in visuals. It does a lot of things better. I care about almost every character that's in it, and that includes the main antagonist, that's the protagonist, that's his family. I care about all of them. And it makes you stay with that, and it has a lot of emotion, especially because this movie's about family. But I enjoy this movie a lot. There's the pacing issues, some of the story elements.
If you can sit through a 3-hour, 15-minute movie,
then go watch it. If you want to wait until you get home, I would feel a little sad for James.
But we understand.
But we understand.
And one thing about this channel is we don't judge people based on what they. If you hate the film, you hate the film. We're not going to judge you for that. Yeah. Just don't try to force it down people's throat like, oh, this is a terrible movie. Like,
and it's objectively terrible. When most films have a subjectiveness to liking or disliking them, there are some that you could judge objectively, but not many.
This is just my subjective opinion. I think it'd be kind of a disservice to James Cameron for all the work he's put in to not go see this movie.
And the actors and actresses and the cast and crew. Like, this is the first film to be shot in mocap underwater. And that it does such a good job.
And for a whole movie to have motion capture the entire film, except for obviously the human actors, yada yada.
Yeah, the human actors that are still humans
in costume, but for all the Na'vi, basically every character, they're in motion capture suits
for the entire.
So they have to rely on their facial expressions and more body movement to accentuate that compared to a normal if stage play, for example. But that's my personal opinion. I think it'd be a disservice to not go see this in theaters. I'd say give it a shot. If you don't like the movie, at least you watched it and gave your opinion on it. Yeah. If you refuse to go see it just because it's just Avatar, then you're just kind of discrediting everything. Give it a watch, give your own opinion, and at least give it a fair shot.
Yeah, and it's honestly pretty good.
I'd probably rate the same, 8 out of 10. Pacing, not horrible, but you'll feel it. But overall, it's a very well done film.
Yep, and also I already said it for Willow. Yeah, 7 out of 10 is what I would give Willow. Yeah.
Yes. Not Willow. I'd give it an 8 personally. Yeah. That's just my own nostalgia, though. But yeah, those were our reviews of Willow and the main one, Avatar 2. We are still planning reviews. It's just...
Should we do American Psycho?
Yeah, we can go over it real quick. Because a couple of days ago,
Yesterday, actually.
It was Trevor and my first viewing of the 2000 film American Psycho with Christian Bale. And we'll keep this pretty brief real quick. And holy shit. This movie is a really good thriller film.
Yeah, psychological thriller.
With a hint of slasher, but not too much.
Just a hint.
I think the movie's fantastic. Christian Bale is god tier in this movie.
Oh yeah.
As almost any movie he's in, he's god tier.
Even in Thor: Love and Thunder, where he was wasted, he was phenomenal as Gore.
Yeah. I think the movie's theme was very well done with modernity and narcissism, materialistic,
capitalism,
all this other like very stuff that people
very
don't really
niche stuff.
Stuff that people don't talk about. It was very well done. Patrick Bateman is a Sigma male at its finest, despite the murder on the side thing.
Yeah.
Like that's a bit much. But Patrick Bateman is a fantastic antagonist.
Protagonist.
So he's also his own antagonist because of his own psyche in a way, because everything happens because of him, and so he is an amazing protagonist / antagonist depending on how you look at it. Some of the scenes are hilarious if you're a sick bastard.
As Christian Bale himself has said, if he mentioned American Psycho, and it's a funny movie if you're a sick bastard, and he says, and I quote, "like me." Love Christian Bale.
It does play a lot with your morality, and plays a lot with like what's real and what's not, because it deals with the psychoanalyzes Patrick Bateman as a character,
and an unreliable narrator.
Yeah. So I give it a 9 out of 10 for American Psycho. I know Trevor would give it a 9 out of 10.
I give it a 10 out of 10. Because I had already seen it prior, but I wanted to show that.
So technically this is a triple review.
Yep.
So thanks so much, guys, for watching. We tried to keep this brief, but we wanted to get more out of it. We are still playing on Wednesday on Netflix.
And Berserk, which is up there.
Berserk, manga is kind of hard to schedule with all of us.
Yeah, it is, because manga it doesn't technically take more time than a movie or a show, but it just, there's more to it, especially how we read manga. How we like to read manga, I should say, unless we read it by ourselves.
Yeah, and I don't want to read it by ourselves because it detracts from the great experience.
Especially because I want to see how they react to certain things, certain twists.
Because he's basically caught up to it, and
I'm caught up to the most recent chapter.
Well, exactly. So, but yes, Berserk is coming. Hopefully, that can be like a Christmas special or something.
Yeah, we're hoping to release it for a Christmas special or around that time. Just for that.
Well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Maybe if it doesn't happen on Christmas, maybe it'll happen New Year's.
Yeah, we don't want to force content out for you guys because...
And we also have our lives that we have to, be adults, so...
Adulting. It sucks, but it's also necessary. I'm thinking while we're still on. I'm thinking we could probably do a review sometime in the future of Evangelion. Sometime,
especially after we watch the 4 films.
Yeah, and go over at that. So I think that could be a good plan for like at least an anime review, because we have not done an anime review yet. So
we've done a manga and we've done game adaptations and stuff like that.
Yeah, but not an anime review. So that it'll be. We have plans. It's just it's hard to do. It's hard to
And then I still have plans for mine. I'm still currently reading the 2000 Batgirl run with Cassandra Cain, and that I plan on releasing at some point, probably early next year, around that time.
So we have plans, just we don't have like a whole checklist of stuff like planned
and we
out.
don't have a time set for all of it either.
Because again, we have our lives. We try, but when we do, we have fun, and we're here for you guys. So yeah, we're trying to we're experimenting with new backdrops on this. So bear with us if we have constant changing of backgrounds and stuff.
I'd say this one's fine though because we have our entire manga shelf behind us.
Yeah, so we're still experimenting with backgrounds and stuff like how we can do this. So again, thanks for 30 minutes, probably new record.
Yeah.
Thanks guys so much for watching with us. Please go check out the movie Avatar: The Way of Water. I almost said Way of Life. And check out Willow if you haven't seen it. American Psycho as well if you have not seen it. And catch you. See you in the next one.
And remember, it's hip to be square.